Right. Yeah, Shalom. This is I.S.U.P.K and Tobago. Again, I.S.U.P.K started out about 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commanding General Yana. Right, that is of the SWAT Yala, right down in Trinidad and Tobago. Right, so again, we are to again, like, share, subscribe to the classes. Then again, just a reminder to brothers and sisters, have an active it's an active school in Point Fortin, right here in Trinidad and Tobago, right? The address is Morris Street, Point Fortin, right? Any information, you can reach out to the number, right, on our webpage, right? Any directions, you can go up on Google, minus, Google Maps, right? Give the location, direction to the school, right? Again, so a lot is going on, you know, throughout the world, throughout the world, you know, right here in Trinidad as well, also in Babylon, which we call America. Right? So everything that is taking place, you know, is already written and already recorded. What blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians have to do, and again, these names are just by names, and you know, these names were given to us and in our process during the time of, you know, our colonization or slavery. With all this, we need be not or need be mindful that never forget, because they never forget, you know, none of their history, none of their archaeology, none of, you know, of the above, where, you know, they were faced with whatever trials and tribulations amongst their people. So again tonight, here in Trinidad, we need to bring that reminder to our brothers and sisters and continue to echo and, you know, throughout four corners of the earth, because again, Commanding General has, you know, putting the book under the Most High Christ and was able, you know, to, you know, raise brothers up, you know, with that spirit and reminder where it was, you know, said by our King, and he said it best, you know, to walk after that footstep, there will always be a price. And that price is, you know, you lay a life for your brother. Understand what it means to lay a life for your brother. This is what we have been doing since 1969. You know, laying our lives for our brothers. And in 2024, we continue on that same path until the return of our King Yahushua. Right? And again, brothers and sisters, you know, this time that we are in and is so important and so, you know, relevant that everything that is being said on these platforms, in these schools, was men that were raised up right and, you know, taught to in the right spirit by righteous black men. And this is something that we don't want to forget, because now we look at things and, you know, and try to frame it as, you know, the human race, but there was always separation within that race as well, because now culture and customs is what, you know, brought that separation. And why I say culture and customs? Because now the Most High God choose this family and raise this family from the low state in the time where, as we say, we all was, you know, living as beasts. But the Most High God, being wiser and, you know, and smarter than man, you know, see it fit that we, you know, out of this, as you say, out of man, some, you know, being, or as you say, human race, someone to rule or to run this place in righteousness. And again, being chosen at the outside world. We as a people, as a nation, need not mindful to forget that. Because now we read out of our history book, which is the Bible. The Bible is a record of the history, and that history book that belongs to our people, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. And each and every one of these nations understood one thing. And again, I just jump in. They understood that once, as the scripture says, when the righteous in authority, the whole earth rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, people mourn. They understood that part because now they see what is taking place, and this whole earth is in mourning at present. Because why? Because now the righteous are in authority, and this is why our King Yahushua, Jesus Christ, He, redeemed us, and was setting that standard for the future. And 2,000 years being passed, just as a figure, show that what is being prepared is being prepared forever. And this is why, in our record, we say that we go to rule as scripture says forever and ever. Because why? To make sure that there's no war in the Middle East, there's no war, we say, on the Gaza Strip. Like we say, the population of our nation being, slaughtered, this would be brought to a halt. Because why? Because the righteous will be ruling. And this is why, again, what we are on right now, a lot of, these pagan, as we say, or religious holidays is upon us. And every time, these holidays come about, we bring these reminders to our brothers and sisters. Because why? Because of what we demonstrate or what we call love. This society portrays love as a hug and a kiss. And it's so emotional that we would, gravitate towards that and not understanding that there is way more than that. Because now you don't have a care for your brother, you don't have a care for your sister. You can get them a hug and a kiss. But don't even have a care for them. It shows that the mindset of what society had portrayed and put upon us. And this is why we need to be reminded daily, as our record says, examine yourself daily to see if we live. And this is why now, again, based on what brothers and sisters face on a daily basis, this is why these conversations need to be had. Because why? Without this black conversation, we would see what took place. You see what took place, at the polls on that election day, where as you say, the black woman mind was crushed in thinking that she will have a say, or have rule over that authority figure over man. And the scripture say, in our record say, that a woman should not use her authority over understanding that. The Most High God back that straight back down, and bring it straight back in place, bring the woman straight back in place. To the point where she now, with as we say, there are a lot of things that floating over the media that she said that if she can, based on have rule over her own body, then this is over. She will, have no intercourse with her man on the face. Goes to show that again, as a brother said, thank the Lord, because now these babies that were being aborted, they would have the opportunity in a righteous black woman, because you see this, you guys say, don't give, as you say, don't put your seed inside a woman that has that mindset. Because why? That mindset will bring utter destruction to people in that nation. tonight, we continuing on what would be, let me say, our job as black men, as sitting in these seats, being called to, to bring this reminder out to our people, out to our nation that have been trodden, pillage, rape, you name it, anything, anything you could think about, you name it, we face coming through this society, coming through this society ruled by the wicked. And this is why again, all oppressor again is the deceiver, as you say, right hand. This deceiver devil, now would devil just be deceiver. A lot of people here say white man is the devil, but again, everything is context. Everything is, it has its place. And now the devil just means deceiver. And being told by religious organization what you will be looking for. As you say, a pitchfork, two horn, and a red tail. And that is, as you say, utter rubbish. Right? So again, we continue on in this pathway in reminding brothers and sisters that it is important and right, because again, everybody will see, what we call a revolution. But in order to have a revolution, in order to bring forth that, you must get right. As a black Latino native Indian, you must get right. Because now your father already set everything in place, already set everything in order. And what he's looking at is for you to get yourself right. Because why? You move away from instructions. You move away from what has been laid down from foundation. And in order for to see the right side of your father, now what you must come back to these instructions. These instructions have changed. He changed it. Because why? These instructions is not the instructions of man. And listen to that again. These instructions is not the instructions of man. And a lot of people would say that man write this, but who is the man that wrote these records? These men were in that, as you see, that right spirit, because now they had a care for a people and a nation. And this is why when we read, and this is why when oppressor take hold of these records during the time, as we say, of the Roman Empire, going through and understanding that the importance of these records and what it contains is most important, that they should, within their spirit, to do what? To keep it, as we say, away from these people. And how did they do this? During the time as slavery. And until they reach the point now where they would use the point now where they know that was our time. Now what they did now, they joined religion, and now started, as we say, divide us through these records. And how they divide us through these records? By religion. By religion. And this is why every time black Latino native Indian pick up this book, they will always think that it is is that everybody book. When really the truth and in fact is not everybody book. It's a history book that belongs to people. Who is this people? As we say, so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. The children of the sons of Jacob. And these sons are them who families, who nation, these 12 tribes. And this is who they are today. Because now, when we look at persecution, tribulation, trials that we face on a daily basis, one people face that. We see everybody would say, everybody going through this, really human, but know this. In our upcoming, in our, bringing up in this society, there was always a fight and a struggle. Because why? Because of what our forefathers did, we in return, feel the brunt of it. And why? Because now we must understand that this history book is a living book. And why I say a living book? Because now we see, the, many examples coming out of this, live examples, right? This is why again, these reminders will be brought out, right? So tonight again, we're going to just read a little brief history again, because I know Thanksgiving coming up, Veteran Days coming up, all these things, is upon us. And right after that, your Christmas, your New Year's, and the list goes on. And this is why, again, these customs is not for us to put the partake of actually, right? This is why all these reminders will be brought out, right? So let's get about this, right? So we're just going to read a little brief history on Thanksgiving, right? And so, as I say, the real story of Thanksgiving explained by Susan Bates, right? And this is our goal, right? We all need to learn faithful history of Thanksgiving so we don't live in lies. And it's that. This is what we have been living in for over 400 years, lies. Because now a lot of stories, a lot of, I say, folk tales, or come out and, we grow our children up in that and not, teach them or let them know the truth. And this is why, again, when our again the records say train up a child in the way that they should go, this is what it means. We should let them know their history, let them know who they are, remind them of the people that will be around them. You know who does this? These Indians, Chinese, white, your Arabs, Africans. These people again remind their children of who they are. But know this, us as a people and as a nation have been moved or stripped of our identity. And this is why this captivity was one of the worst captivity that we face as a people and as a nation. Because now, every time you meet a brother or sister and you ask them, hey, what is your nationality? They would always draw a reference to the place where they reside. They would say, it's a Jamaican, it's a Trinidadian, it's American. This is the country of God. You being a citizen of that place, that is not a nationality. You ask a Chinese man, he says they're Chinese. You ask the East Indian, he says they're East Indian. You ask the white, he says they're Caucasian. Why it is now, they now would recognize something because now this was taught to them being brought up. This was taught to them. But us, there was only one agenda. Our mark, and again, this is why David, in his prayer, in Psalms 83, echo this. And let's read a little bit before we this is what it says in Psalms 83, right? Book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 1. It says, keep not thou silence, O God, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O God. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. And why it is so important? Because now the Lord being our Father, and here we say the Lord has enemies. And understand what an enemy is anybody that come up against you and this I would say try to bring utter destruction to a people or nation, they become a what? Enemy, right? And this is why again I read on, right? He say verse 3, they have taken crafty counsel against thy people and consulted against thy hidden ones. And when we read that, we read, as you say this article, it says, we all need to learn the painful history of Thanksgiving so we don't live in lies. And we know that as we read on down this article, they will understand the whole history, as we say, behind Thanksgiving. Because now, what this is going to do, is going to expose somebody. It's going to expose our people. Because now, as we say they, and we're talking about these other nations, talking about our people, right? Read that a little bit more. He said, Yahweh it said in verse 4, he said, they have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. See, the nation of Israel, the children of Israel, of Jacob's sons, these 12 brothers, and if this was plain, they were already destroyed. But now, because now our records, is written, as we say, in black people slang or language. This is why we can be able to do what to comprehend and relate with one another. So now when we hear anybody else talk, say, yeah, boy, that this song, let me look into it. And we do now, as I say, scripture said prove all things. So now we go inside it now, we going to prove it right here, inside our records. Now what we say, what we think, what we feel. Because now as men, righteous black men, now our duty is always be to be, or to follow after the footsteps of our King, being austere and upright, and speaking truth. And this is why we continue on in that footstep and legacy of our forefathers. And the men that stand for this prophets are old. This is why when we read out of our records and we hear David echoing these things, what we will do, we take heed and pay attention, because now we will end up in that trap, as we say, feeling pain and sorrow. And as we say, we see the division amongst, as we say, the native Indians or the first people. Because now, in that history, now it shows there, when we read it, as we say, I think it's first or second Ezra, where it says that journey that they made, that journey was supposed to do what? Supposed to come and supposed to continue on, in serving the Lord. You know what happened? They removed themselves far away, and you know what they started to do? They started to put a woman as a God. Because why? All this come through what colonization, through our oppressor bringing and dressing that statue, as we say, of this white, or as we say, of this woman, or Mary, as as the mother of God, and that whole actuality, as we say, nonsense, come and destroy the minds of, again, of these people. And again, that is a history, and that is something that we go into and to bring that reminder. So now all those people, or say the native Indians, they will look, as we say, at the bloodline from through the woman. When in truth, and in fact, the scripture doesn't say that. It's in Numbers, I think it's Numbers 1 and 18, we say, name them, or say, call them by the pedigree, by the seed of the father. Whoever your father is, that is who he is. And then from the time that started dropping out, you know what happened? Black Latinos and Native Indian minds, we started, and this is how to show you that this is that this is our people, and this is who we are. We started to do what? We started to come up against this. And this happened, and this take place during the time of slavery, and that goes to show you the reality of the spirit, that because now we tell you Ezekiel who we are we rebellious, we stubborn, stiff-hearted, die who years. And this is why the prophets are who they are alive and well today. Because now they understood, bringing this, this message, or bringing, this good news to the people, to the nation, because of what are the importance of the poor. The importance of the poor is very relevant to us. Because why? If we do adhere to these laws, statutes, and commandments, it says this in Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15. It says, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And what we're reading in this piece of history is some that come up and overtake our native Indians, as you say, or our, as you say, the first people at that time. And don't feel this, because now, during that time, we were faced with many persecution. These sons and them were faced with many persecution, many trials, many tribulations. And this is why now the Lord is doing something. The Lord is as we say, is bringing us or gathering us back together again. As the scripture says, gather yourselves together. In the I.S.U.P.K, under command of GEN.YAHANNA, you will find these brothers all, as you say, coming back in that same spirit. To do what? To go and remind more brothers, to go and remind more sisters, to go and remind your families. Because why? We have moved away from these instructions, starting to pick up all the customs and culture of these other nations. Right? Again, if you have a question, you want to ask it, you can type it in the chat, drop it in the inbox, question will be answered, right? Out of these reports and what we face, we go through today, right? So I'll continue on reading a little bit, inside the article, right? So it's, as it said in Psalm 33, the Theocratic Council, right? And said, come and let us cut them off from your nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance. And we see that how we are cut off. When you don't know who you are, when you have an identity, you're cut off. That's the reality. You're cut off. Right? So continue on. Right? Right? It's we all need to learn the painful history of Thanksgiving, so we do not live in lies. Abraham Lincoln proclaimed a day of Thanksgiving in 1863. The federal government declared the last Thursday in November as a legal holiday of Thanksgiving in 1898. So it falls around every, let me say, the third Thursday in November, right? However, the meaning of Thanksgiving for the Native American is filled with painful history, which has been covered up with the Pilgrims and Indians story, right? Most of us associate the holiday with happy pilgrims and Indians sitting down to a big feast. And that did happen once. The story began in 1640 when a band of English explorers sailed home to England with a ship full of Patuxs, Indians bound for slavery. So again, this is a reminder to us. So now it shows that where Paul, I say, what is that slave? Anybody that is forced, out of doing something out of their own will. And it shows that these are native. Like you see, this is why we always tell brothers, hey, these Venezuelan or Asha that come across here, these are our brothers. Because now they face the same thing that we face. And this is why now a lot of these East Indians will always try to make it look like, that they are the ones, or label them as, as the ones that cause all the crime, or, that's taking place right now in the country. But that's a lie. That's a total lie and rubbish. Because you know why? Because they are the ones now who exploited them, who following after the footsteps, of the slave master that brought them in on, as you say, paid wages. This is the legacy that they continue. So now what they do, they hire them for let me say, for labor that will do that. I would say slave labor. So but they will get next to nothing. And all the come and go stay here, but never any and then federal, never any federal, this or whatever, and with the compliment. Ask them raising wages as an idea, around small money, real small money to do that. Show the evil, deception, the wickedness of these East Indians. And this is why I mean, a lot of people will think or say that that we speak or we preach hate, but the reality of that is that is the truth. And this don't come about because now, as we now read in the scriptures, it says that, Paul, right? Right? And it say, and they that hate thee, inside the record said, they that hate thee. So now we talking about that. It's like, hey, it's something that we can go on. So it's not like, or as you say, the instructions are already laid out. So it's not like, hey, the reason because of this, because as you say, what you follow after, the Lord ain't. Thy be reality, right? So what we supposed to do? We supposed to do what? We supposed to hate it as well. A righteous hate. Right? Right? So we say, so these attacks, Indians, right, gone for slavery. So now again, this mantle or as you say, remove, as you say, our brothers or native Indian brothers, as you say, tribe, a guard from their as you say, their place, right? They say they left behind smallpox. Right? They say they left behind smallpox, which virtually wiped out those who had escaped. Right? By the time the pilgrims arrived in Massachusetts, they found only one living Patos Indian, a man named Squanto, who had survived slavery in England and knew their language. So now this brother now was the only survivor in reaching, as we say, to Europe or to England. Right? So what he would do, read on, it said, he taught them how to grow corn and fish and negotiated a peace treaty between the pilgrims and the Wampanoag nation, right? At the end of their first year, the pilgrims held a great feast honoring Squanto and the Wampanoags, right? So now he, again, it's just never trust anyone. Because now, this, as you say, this deceiver, and this is why, again, in the article, they call them pilgrim. They will try all kind of, as you say, words to try to cover, but this is who he is, as you say, the deceiver, this by, as you say, the divine man, this deceiver, the devil, that Bible speaks about. He continues to deceive, and this is a clear example of what he does and who he is today in the society, right? I read on a little bit, right? But as word spread in England about the paradise to be found in the new world, hear that, right? So now after he teach them all these things now there, as you say, you see what take place, right? Religious zealots called Puritans began arriving by the border, finding no fences around the land. They consider it to be a public domain. So now on their return, as we say to the Americans, what they found, as we say, and again this is why in the scriptures I say it's so as you say so right. And they decide that the Lord, because the Lord know why he make mention of this, and this was happening because now you remove, as say, some of the people from the land and carry them to your own land. You infringe on the borders, you infringe on their customs, their ways, and remove them. And now you're coming back and say that, oh, you see no man, this land already occupied. What happening, and you see right now with and this is a good example. And the land, as you say, over Russia and Ukraine going on right now. That already occupied. And this is why I when you read the history, and there's a whole war between brothers, between, as you say, these white, as you say, these Caucasian people. It's a whole war. So now brothers fighting, for as you say, for territory. Because why? They were on that mass. These people, as you say, these first people are Native Indian brothers. They were, as you say, the first people of the land. And this is why, it's so important with these reminders, right? It's it, right? Right. Right. And it said the word spread in England about the paradise to be found in the New World, right? Right. As we say, we're gonna learn more, right? Joined by other British settlers, they seized. You hear that? They seized. And again, every time I read this, and this is why again, must say Brakataya or Shaka General. Reasonable right, I would say righteous black men, where we can be able to do what to speak this truth and continue on in the spirit of the Most High Christ, because again, commanded General YAHANNA, follow Christ. We follow Christ. This is why we follow commanded General YAHANNA, righteous black man, in bringing up and bringing this reminder to us in this truth and making it known to blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians. These by names that you all find, I know is a people better than that. Rich in legacy, rich in history. And you have a culture whereby you, as you say, is the salt of this society, salt of the earth. And this is why the Most High God is doing is bringing it back. Because why? It's that time. It's that time. Right? Read a little more about Michelle. Right? Joined by other British settlers, they seized land, capturing strong young natives or slaves. They notice not like indentured workers, slaves. So this is why again when we go back and read in the scripture, they say that Judah shall no more get Ephraim, and any brother who knows the history behind that, and this is why I say counter class, that there was a split in the kingdom, and that split is just brothers could not agree with one another, and we see the same thing happening right now in the black community. We think and just can't agree with one another, so we started on a life on our side, looking for run, and not knowing, hey, we supposed to do what supposed to, as you say, not be doing, as you say, following these customs. And this is why again, Thanksgiving wicked, Christmas wicked, New Year's wicked, all these pagan feast days are wicked, and I say wicked in a righteous way, because why? It brings that wicked and evil vibe, spirit of you to do what? To put, as you say, to unalive your system. make sisters do what? Run to the abortion clinic. This is why see Trump in his mandate, when he started to talk now, everybody started pedal back because now it's like all the time you're amongst the beasts. Now the beast will be out, and you see it's like it's like and it does because why the beast will be out and he started to what? He started to destroy all your dreams and your hopes. Waiting was dreams, and when really and truly it was just a mirage, an illusion, ready to pop. And as it pop, boom, you come back to your senses. See blacks, Latinos, and Indians jump back to their senses. And they realize, you see this? This is why we say, come into the school, come into the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Run by the only man with the rank and the authority, commanding Gen.YAHANNA, to teach you who continue to open and to wake up brothers through the four corners of the earth by us in the school now doing or following after the footpaths of our forefathers and our brother in that spirit continue right to bring to remind brothers in this truth, right? So we read on a little more in the history, right? It says, but the Quito nation had not agreed to the peace treaty Squanto had negotiated, and they fought back. So now it just shows you insight. Same thing with I would say, Martin Luther King. You negotiate over something where you think, because now you're amongst people and living amongst these people, now you think that them so good, and this is why these records are so right, because now we living amongst these other nations. Most likely we will not to join them or not to go amongst them and to read that rest of the scriptures because of one thing, because of us integrating. This is what will take place. These other nations never keep the end of God. And when I say that, I will start from all person. He is the biggest, as we say, deceiver. And every other nation, this is why now when you read Psalms 83, it say that. It say that. It said they. It didn't say he alone, it said they. So now we would sit in conspiracy with these other nations to do what? Because now this people is the people who are supposed to be running everything. And because now they have agreed, or as I say, a lust for power, they will do anything. And this is why these other nations we will understand what power is. And this is why again, through many major captivities, when you read through our records, see we came through the Babylonian, the Syrian, Persian, and me. You name these captivities. What other nation or people went through these captivities or served as you say, as slaves, not as slaves under these captivities? And this is why it's so important. Because of this piece I given us and read and listen and break down. This is something that was done. And this is why we speak the same thing by men, above us, as we say in that order, teaching these breakdowns. Because now we didn't teach, I'm not teaching nothing on my own. This is something that was brought out. But again, these I would say, these records, or say this information will be brought out in these timings, because it's a reminder. It's a reminder to us. So around this time, we come back and read this again, because now it's something that we want to resonate with the minds of blacks, Latinos, and individuals. That we need to be reminded as well. right? So I continue reading on, right? But the Puquitoites say had not agreed to the peace treaty Spanto had negotiated, and they fought back, right? The the the, the Puquito War was one of the bloodiest Indian wars fought in 1637, right? Near present day in Garton, Connecticut, over 700 men, right, women and children of the Puquito tribe had gathered for the annual, right, John, Green Corn Festival, which is, today Thanksgiving celebration. And around this time, as you say, we know around this time would be, the time of winter, right, where the place has to get cold. And again, it show all people, what we would do around this time. Now they say it's a the Green Corn Festival. So now you got food that would last for that period of time during that season. Because now, as I say, we know everything is coming season. So now we do it, as I say, stop. And this is why now they go back and they read. Then when we were in Egypt, and again the Most High God, put Joseph in that position to be second in command under Pharaoh during the time of that famine. Because why? It showed you this was some culture in our spirit. So during certain times of the year, we know what I would say, what to harvest or what to put away for certain times. And we know around this time, during the time of winter, what we do. Gather, I would say, what we call starchy food. We know, hey, whenever I say, when they make a pot of soup, and say, I did yam, cassava, potatoes, corn. When you make that, that lasts 3-4 days, and it shows you that this we as a people, as we say, we've always had that spirit. And scripture say that he said that okay, wherever we is, we will do. They will say that this people is a wise and understanding people. Because now wherever we is, what we do, we portray or follow after the customs of our forefathers. And this is why they would say that. So now when we teach them, and this is why it's so important, because now we teach them how to function. And in return, this is the return. Mass unalignment from time of slavery to the time of to alternative Indian brothers. Right? We did have a little more. Right? Right, so you see, in the pre-dawn hours, the sleeping Indians were surrounded by English and Dutch mercenaries who ordered them to come outside. Those who came out were shot, right, or caught to death, while the terrified women and children who huddled inside the longhouse were burned alive. Listen, right? Say the next day, John Winthrop, in 1588 to 1649, the governor of the Massachusetts Bay Colony declared a day of Thanksgiving because 700 unarmed men, women, and children had been murdered and killed. Listen that. This is where we will sit down around a table to do what? To recognize. Now, you don't love your brother. You don't care about your brother. You don't care about your brother. And this is why they will always push this narrative, or push this throughout the black community. Hey, that was there, forget that. They didn't forget 9/11. They didn't forget, as we say, the Holocaust. They didn't forget, as we say, in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. They didn't forget that. So we're telling us not to forget what? We need to wake up. And this is why now, as we say, what took place was a root, I would say, was that time now the Lord will wake up. Don't fall asleep. Don't be pacified. But now you'll be on your heels and your toes. You're always on your heels and your toes. But now, again, it shows you that, as I say, your morale, your baba, and your boss. Take a pen and then bust your bubble. Bust your bubble. So now, what is your next move now? And this is why now, again, to be able to understand what it means to be feminine or what it means to be masculine is only the I.S.U.P.K and the Commander General understand those two things. Outside of that, again, you're faced with many, as we say, many, I would say, disturbing cries, and let me say, as we say, they have to be real mindful of words that they use on this platform, because bringing on this truth, now you have to be careful of your words. And then again, it's all people using all kind of, I say, that's words. From the time, as I say, talking about this truth, now they're ready to fly, they're ready to put you down. But notice, the Lord already stamped and sanctioned what is taking place. And I react to it. I'm going to read a little bit more, right, and then we'll just jump into the scriptures, into the record, then we are right. Cheered by their victory, the brave colonists and their Indian allies attacked after villages. Women, children, over 14 were sold into slavery, right, and the rest were murdered. Boats load with as many as 500 slaves regularly left the ports of New England. Right. Bounties were paid for Indian scalp to encourage as many deaths as possible to follow, especially successful raids against the Pueblo in what is now Stamford, Connecticut. The churches announced a second day of Thanksgiving to celebrate victory over the heathen savages. Right? So now again, it shows you what the class here. Imagine the heathen calling you a heathen, and this is why again, when we look, we are recognized as dead when we pick up the custom and culture, right? I say during the feast, they hack off the heads of natives who kick through the streets like soccer balls. Listen to this. During the feasting, they hack off the heads of natives who kick through the streets like soccer balls. Even the friendly compound did not escape the madness. Their chief was beheaded and his head impaled on a pole in Plymouth, Massachusetts, where it remained on display for 24 hours. When they celebrate Christmas, when they celebrate Thanksgiving, the Blacks, Latino, Native Indians, this is a reminder that these upcoming feast days, these upcoming heathen holidays, refrain yourself from it. Well, you really love your brother, you care for your brother, refrain yourself from it. And this is just a reminder. You can know this. The Lord say this, say He hates despised the Yid's SHALAM feast days. This is why when you see anytime, as you say, they celebrating birthday, celebrating, you will see brothers and sisters being unalive, being, because why? This is something, this is not custom, this is not culture. We are high, we have feast days. We have the feast of Hanukkah coming up on the 25th of December. And this is why, and this is we encourage brothers and sisters to come out to this feast, come out to this time, because now it's that time. I remember to remind brothers and sisters, where in our records, it had, as you see, one of the story that stand out. This woman, would stand with the 7 sons upright, and they would not put that pig, that swine in the mouth. See that powerful life? See that? 7 brothers stood and them was strong. So we can see that example today. And then we know, Lord, it have a dark terrible. Have a dark terrible. I Leviticus or Leviticus 11. Dark terrible. Awesome. Right? I'm read a little more on this because now I've been reading a little brief short history on the the information I brought out, I gave it our environment letters. Right? See, that the killings became more and more of more and more frenzy, with days of Thanksgiving feasts being held after each successful massacre. George Washington finally suggested that only one day of Thanksgiving per year be set aside instead of celebrating each and every massacre. So now again it's your come, as you see, a land already inhabited. Now you say that no fences, no borders, so it's an infringe. So that come up. Later Abraham Lincoln decreed Thanksgiving Day to be a legal national holiday during the Civil War. On the same day, he ordered troops to march against, right, the starving Sioux in Minnesota. This story doesn't have quite the same frenzy feeling associated with it as one where the Indians pilgrims are all still down together at the big feast. But we need to learn our true history so it won't be ever repeated. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, kind of way. If as I say, if you're, as I say, Native Indigenous people, we stand with your brothers, your brothers, Tribal God, Reuben, right? As I say, it's time for us to wake up and stop, and say, stop thinking that, everything was, right, and, if you're now again, you join in hands with these oppressors, again, you're in the same position, just like we, as we say, Kwanto, we Kwanzo them, right? That same thing like we Kwanzo them, So now, with the read in the record and understand, why it is, and again, this is why now when you see, like I say, we had a week or some events where the native villagers they go together during the time, let's say October, around that time, and they would come in recognition, and they would come together, but not understanding, culture and custom, and again, thinking that they were fighting for, let me say, for chief and for this one. Again, brothers, this is a reminder. the I.S.U.P.K under Commanding General is telling you, is reminding you as brothers, hey, when you come and sit down and we can have that discussion. As you say, if he's a native Indian chief right now in Trinidad and Tobago, let me sit down and have that discussion. Because now I know a lot of you always be on social media platform. Now this is something that you want to understand truth, you understand history. You just will have that one part where you think that that this is what it is, but I know what it is. And if you know more and you deny the people of the truth, it's just like these wicked pastors, imams, who sit out of our brothers who say down in religious organization and not bringing your brothers and sisters up to reality. Because now that is wickedness to the highest level. And you deny brothers and sisters. So you only think for yourself gain or for yourself wrong. So if you achieve one native Indian, as we say, in Trinidad, feel free again, you can go up on the webpage and call for interview. Or let me sit down and have a discussion. And let me go into if you want to go into history. And we can understand why it is now we face with these challenges and we keep coming up, as we say, with these different challenges, because now again everything have a place and stop giving, as we say, that black woman power. And when we say black woman, we're talking about these 12 tribes, sisters and them. Because now, as we say, native indigenous people, we say Hispanic sisters and them, that would black destiny and lose feet. Stop giving them power. Right? So we will read a little bit in our reports, and again they will show you and remind brothers and sisters. So first you want to first Ezra, right? Ezra standing by this. Again, this is what the Roman Catholic Church removed out of our records. And they had, as you see, they always had an agenda. And a lot of people will run from this because, as you say, because of Roman Catholicism. And you know the thing that with the Haiti, as we say, and when we say Haiti, we talk about our white man, we talk about, as we say, Mariah, I would say the mother of our king, a black woman. Right? We talk about that depiction that says about you. And you see, that as you see, that is why people go on. As you see, oppressor board, Caucasian board, they have their own. We talk about that, see, black board in the Bible. Description for this time, right? So read book of First Ezra, chapter 8 and verse 84, right? It says, therefore, now shall ye not join right? Say, therefore shall ye therefore now shall ye not join your daughters unto their sons, neither shall ye take their daughters unto your sons. And imagine Ezra echoing some. Let me read it inside here now. And again, this is why we say this is one book. Here we see. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7 and verse 3. Neither shalt thou take marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto his son, nor his daughter shalt thou take unto thy son. For they will turn away thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods, so will be So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy you, destroy thee certainly. And this is what we see, took place, with as we say, with our brothers, as we see, our native indigenous brothers. This is what we see took place with them. And this is why, these are reminders unto us. These are reminders unto us today. Right? And again, when that happened, now we see, the customs and we see the ways are these, what was supposed to take place, right? And again, that's Ezra 13, where it shows the pathway. When they say they come to this new place for Asher, to worship the Lord. What happened when they came here? I see that they do total opposite are following these instructions. And we can read many instances where it show you where the Lord say the same thing happened. And you see that split, that disconnect our brothers. When brothers disconnect and decide to do their own thing, now the Lord as our Father that will come back. And tell you, see what they're doing there, see that beef amongst all of the stuff there. Stop it. Or they'll either come back or you're going licks the two of them. Yes, sir. Please. That bell ring out. But again, the massive Rakataya our shy for, king, our shy, for you leaving and bending back, brothers, we can add that pathway back, and have some favor with the Lord. And this is where we are right now. Walking and making and asking the Most High God to show favor. The Lord who was, we owe the Lord everything. Everything. So don't think like, as we say religion, feel like the Lord know your one thing. So now you must come back and follow these instructions. Because why? This is your pathway back. And this is why he said, for broad and narrow is the way. And you say, many that follow will say, but straight and narrow, broad and wide, I mean, there's a way. Plenty people follow, but straight and narrow, that pathway, say, few be that find it. Few. And this is why now, we in here, in the I.S.U.P.K under Commander General GEN.YAHANNA, we are one mission, one job to do, as to go and remind our brothers and sisters. Let them know, I will say, that is say, show my people their transgression, show we transgress against the Lord, show we fall short, show we move away from it. And this is our job, this is our duty, to remind them. So this was just a reminder to them, as I said. They say, show my people their transgression. He says, show my people their transgression. And why? Because again, inside these records, I'd say, is our constitution. I'd say it's laws, instructions for us to follow. And this is why now we must come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. We must come back to this history. We must come back to these records. Right? So, right? So from there we go to Psalms 55. Psalms 55. Now we will start at verse, let's say verse 19. Book of Psalms chapter 55 and verse 19. Most I shall hear after that, and it's like a most that God shall hear and afflict them, even he that abide of old, right? Because they have no changes, therefore they fear not God. And this is why we say that all oppressor, he had no changes in it. He had none. I know a lot of times our people come up and say, no, he have changed. I know like all of them. And again, scripture say, this is who he is. Yeah, we are father portrait. This is your portrait. And you're going to pay for what your fathers did. Because why? You benefit and it's still benefiting right now. What happened to us? Every pay for our fathers did, and we still paying and we still present. Now why shouldn't you, as scripture say, face that same judgment? It's already seen, it's already recorded. And this is why he's reminded us of God. Right? Continue on. It says, he had put forth his hand against such as be at peace with him. Right? He had broken his covenant. And what we just read here, when they say, talk about 14 different, wombs, as you say, invasion of the native Indians. These were treaties. So when as I say, when the Christian came back, as I say so, but and you say now to every as I say colony, as I say, to every native Indian tribe that they invade, a new treaty would be made. So that didn't stand, that stand for that one. So now it shows how deceptive this as I say this beast is. How deceptive all oppressors is, and they don't follow after their footsteps. As we say, Chinese, East Indians, all these other nations, as we say, follow after them. And this is why now again, why I say that they, and he alone, they, because he doesn't, as you say, influence them. Because now the teller, as you say, I East Indian today, hey, no black man will be ruling over in future. Can't find that they can't stomach it. That's the reality, I tell you. That's the truth. As you say, this is who will be over here, black man. Same people are never that, as you say, that you're having your way right now. And as you say, you choose it if they eat or if they eat. The time come in, enjoy yourself. Put them on the other say, what I like to say, last hire, first fire. Anyway, feed, you have to say, you're feeding your people, making sure they eat. No frightened. As you see, anybody who knows our circulars go, our circulars make a 360-degree rotation. And right now it rotated. But when it rotates, the blacks, Latinos, and Native, they know this is where I'm at. So enjoy your time. Enjoy your time. Enjoy yourself, as you say. Enjoy yourself. Right? They not, as you say, there's a reality. Not the reality. So you feed them, as I say, decide where you want to hire or whatever. Just like the scripture say, what you do, you will take, as you say, the best out of us. This is how your empire built. As you see, you own all the right now again. Show me what as you see, what black industry that. And again, we tried all these things, but what happened? Who would come and trample it down? These other nations, our oppressor. Because you know why? Because of this. Say, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were yet were they drawn swords. That it is. That it is. Again, last Latinos and Native Indians, it's time for us to wake up. It's time for us to come back to these laws that we can do. It's time for us to come back to these instructions. Right? And let's pull this money and again, all we're talking about, we can go back. And when you can see I bring down Genesis 49 with these sons. So Jacob, father, as our father, talking to his sons, and I'm like, hey, this is the week before that. Let me read what took place here. Right, so let's jump to Genesis. Genesis 49. Right? And let's read Genesis 49 and 1. And Jacob called unto his sons and said, gather yourselves together, that I may tell you that which shall befall you in the last days. Remember, I read Zephaniah 2 just now. This is Jacob. This is Israel. This is the father of sons. Let them know, gather yourselves together. So I will make you know what will befall you in these last days. Listen to this. Get back. This is as you say, tribe of God or tribe of God. One of the brothers that faced persecution. Just read in I would say in that part of the history. This is Genesis 49 and 19. Right? It's a God. Here we say, a truth shall overcome him. What we just read about, I would say, Native Indian, I would say, the oppressors, the Calvary. They will say, a truth shall overcome him. But here the latter part, here we say, but he shall overcome at the last. Right? So, again, every story has two sides. This is what happened to our Native Indian brothers. Now, in order for these things to come to fruition, now we must come back. We must gather ourselves back. We must come back to these instructions. This is why again, this is a history book. And it says Jacob. Who is Jacob? Jacob name was changed from Jacob, as it says, from Jacob to what? To Israel. To be the father, I would say, or the children of Israel. These are the sons. These are the tribes, the nations, and others. And this is why it's so important. Because now what happened? I would say, all oppressor, more smooth, but what was in the heart? He deceived brothers, he deceived sisters, he deceived us. This is why now we do take up, or as I say, call himself, as I say, a Jew. You can read that in Revelation 2:1. Say they are Jew. Let me get it. So look who's saying that they are true Jews, or say biblical, as I say, this guy will belong to them. Right? Revelation. And again, this is why this history or record is so important. Right? Book of Revelation. Say the book of Revelation, chapter 2 and verse 9. I know thy works and tribulations and poverty, but thou art rich. So all what we're going through, this is our king speaking. And again, already set bar, already set the standard. But now what again taking place? He went before us. That way say, go before us to prepare that place. Because he learned, no way imam or way religious we get that illusion. Because not everything right here. He going and set order in the youth. And this is why who be ruling righteous black men, who be ruling in this, I say, not now I say where Egyptologists tell you, no way they come up with you ask them that question, they say, good morning. They want to tell them this is how it's spelled, that the added you look again. The amount of nonsense or I say or foolishness we learn in this society, now it's like, hey, you must reframe yourself or I say far with all that nonsense and get really, as say, really wash. They brain get wash the truth. Right? So it say, I know that the blasphemy, and what is that blasphemy? Lies, right? Of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. This is the oppressor. Lies. Call himself Jew. Say enjoy yourself. Enjoy yourself. And this is why again, these records must be reminded us. We're bringing out this truth and again to all the brothers and sisters who join in on the line. Drop your comment in the inbox. Chime in. Any questions on that? All is cool. Again, this room will go regardless of what you know. The Lord already established this. And how we're going to go through righteous government, just as we see on this platform in Trinidad, in Jamaica, UK, throughout North, South, and Central America. These schools already established. Lord will already establish. Brothers and sisters will go in to this truth. Come to this truth. Already, I will say ordained. Now it's for you to make that step. And I'll say, all your parts, all the most of all your prayers, ask the Lord to show you the way. The Lord already know what you want. What the Lord wants is your loyalty to Him. That way the Lord wants your loyalty as a black Latino native Indian. Man, woman, that family, these sons are there. Come back. Right? Right, so from that, we go to Psalms and Psalms chapter 10. Psalms chapter 10 and verse 5. His ways are always grievous, thy judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, puff at them. And again, this is your oppressor. Again, and when you see he puff at them, again, this is who, as you say, our oppressor is, right? Verse 7, his mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. Tell me this is not, as you say, this is not your oppressor. Tell me this is not, as you say, the right man. Tell me that this is not your allies that follow after him. Yeah? Tell me. Blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, it's time for us to come back to these instructions. It's time for us to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. It's time for us, to take heed and, try to be in good favor with our Father. Because there's a time coming. And that time is coming. Notice that the Lord, let me say, that time period of your grace and mercy that is wrong. And this is why and you want to see how and know how this is run out. Listen to this. It's saying that this is again to show you again mercy, Lord run over. See everything. It's the book of Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. And the word of the Lord, right, came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak to the children of thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon the land, if the people of the land take a man of their coast and set him for their watchman, if he seeth the sword coming upon the land, and blow the trumpet and warn the people, then whosoever heareth the sound of the trumpet, take it not warning, if the sword come and take him away, his blood shall be upon his own head. Notice that warning is being brought on right now on this platform, through social media. The Most High God opened up this platform. The platform that He opened up is to remind us, brothers and sisters, is to remind us. Just as He prophesied, and the God that reminded our King reminded us as well. Reminded us as well. And this is why again in Zephaniah 2 and 1 say, gather yourselves together, gather yourselves, O nation of desire, right? Together at last. Here we see, gather yourselves together, right? Ye gather together, O nation of desire. Here we see, before the decree break forth, before the day pass as a chaff, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Blacks, Latinos, Native Indians, it's time to come back to these instructions. It's time to come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. It's time to take heed and know this. We continue to do what we're supposed to do. We have work to be done. There's work to be done. Again, on this platform, a lot of people viewing, making their comments, like, share, subscribe. The classes are getting in Trinidad and Tobago, on Native Indigenous people or First people. Make that call the number, call the school, right? Let me sit down as brothers and have let me say this conversation of to bring to understand and their brother. And there you all know that, if the peace are the missing puzzle, this is, where it is at. And stop, continuing on in that legacy of unrighteousness. Because the Lord, and as you see, customs and the traditions that they pick up, they were far from the truth. Not that you all, as you say, do things that is not pleasing in the sight of the Lord. For instance, as you see, that smoke is a smoke. Start to talk about smoke, or start to talk about it again. All these customs, see when we was coming out. What happened? See where we all started after that. As you see, now we should the Lord and God. Again, the reminder to us as a nation to come back to these instructions, these laws, statutes, and commandments. Again, we have after school writing, tomorrow 3.14. Go up on our page, tap us, all the necessary information, you find it, right? Again, these are reminders to us. Again, like, share, subscribe, share the classes and them. Share it with our family. We don't mind to my brother or sister or one of our family members. Might be influential to you as well. Knowing truth and to understand. And come out of the Christian church, come out of the Muslim mosque, come out of religion. Because you joining that bring more harm to your family, harm to your children, more harm to the nation. Notice the Lord requires something. Just read it. To get ourselves together. Again, we send ourselves to Apiada, down in Trinidad, I.S.U.P.K the Commander General Yohanna. Continue to bring the truth out. Continue to remind brothers and sisters in Trinidad and Tobago throughout the Caribbean. Super blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians to come back to the truth, to come back to your heritage, come back to your culture. That, right, is an idea. Let's see this thing here, right? See security announcements, right? We have the I.S.U.P.K out of 125th Street, New York, under Commander General Yohanna. New rules for brothers and sisters. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits, right? For 6 months. This again. These things is very important. It is rules set by the school, because now a brother or a sister need that time to shed themselves from what this society of portray and brought up on them, right? The state, right? They made Salato, right? They are here to shed themselves after that 6 months. If your brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister, right? And give instructions. There's another 6 months in which a brother or sister report each other, right? After that 6 months period, the brother or sister will get permission from the head to marry. With all that time that go through and explain, and brothers sit down on the righteous counsel to explain and understand the marriages. So now you would know that, hey, before you give yourself to this person, especially a woman, this is something that would be, I would say, lifelong. Again, you can take a ring and fling it. But from the time you jam, that comes to me. If you actually jam out, that's it. So this is why now you understand the marriages is a common and understand what true marriage is. You see what all marriages last. And it's still today. Right? See, tithes, which is a commandment, right? You can find this in Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21.
Malachi chapter 3, 8 to 10. It says in Hebrew, and it's pronounced by I.S.U.P.K, 10% of every penny, any increase the Lord gives you. Give the treasury department, the teacher, priest fund, for your offering, right? That's mandatory, whatever you like to give, right? A common holy convocation. That the feast Isupk period. This one's right. Right, you see. Right. You might not get what you have to check on social media such as I.S.U.P.K, right? Laptop, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and so forth. I.S.U.P.K event material. Everybody wants to be a trooper in the school, then you start wearing all black, which include boots, like shirt, like pants, or headband, or scarf, right? And that is a medium, which is a stand, you know. Say that upon the Hakodam in Hebrew, which means to turn and face the east, right? With the same Lord's Prayer in Hebrew, right? First, then we say it in English after, right? Abanawa, Shabashamayim, Kodash, I.S.U.P.K, Yahweh, Malakaka, Tabaa, Ratazaka, Aisha, Baratiza, Kawa, Bashamayim, Mafamanawa, Makam, Kaw, Yawam, Masalaknawa, Kawabaknawa, Kasalaknawa, Kawabak Yanawa, Malaa, Tayanawa, Manasayawan, Kabal, Awashayanawa, Mayam, Rai, Kaya, Maka, Malakwa, Waala, Watapara, Iolamian, Aman. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Hallowed, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. So be it. Right? You say, sir, turn, right? Give one good salute, and then lift your imagine, Shabbat, imagine, Barak, how about Shem Yashai Rakata, Jimata. Let's give these sisters online one good salute, and then lift your imagine, Shabbat, imagine, Barak, how Shemai, Aratam, Mahasham, Roshai, Jimata, dismiss.